how I wake up and get shit done. Look, I'm gonna make this video about how you have to get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. every single morning if you wanna be successful. I'm sure you've heard about that. You have to wake up in the early hours of dawn. You have to get up, you have to meditate, you have to visualize, you have to write down your goals, and then you have to go do some morning cardio, lift some weights, and then you're ready for the day. Sounds like a great morning routine, but the truth is, do you really have to do those things? Like most people don't wanna wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? So do you have to do that in order to increase your income, in order to achieve success? That's the question. And I'm gonna answer these questions in this video based on my own morning routine that I've developed. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan Vas, and I'm here to tell you the truth about entrepreneurship, the truth about achieving success. Personally, I own a multiple seven-figure online education business as well as multiple seven-figure e-commerce brands. And based on my own life, trying to hit massive, massive goals, trying to build a company, an online education business, an e-commerce business into the 8 figures by next year, I personally have to rely on developing a millionaire morning routine. And that's what I've done for the past few years. When I was 20 years old, I actually had no morning routine, and I also had $0 in my bank account, right? Coincidence? I don't know, but you tell me. If you don't have a morning routine, and if you are not in a situation where you want to be right now in life, then developing a great morning routine that is tailored to you will completely change your life. Something that is not just going to be forced down your throat, like you have to wake up at 4 a.m. if you want to be successful. None of that BS. You don't have to do that, right? Me personally, I don't even wake up at 4 a.m. I actually wake up between the hours of 7 to 8, and I found that that was the best time for me to actually wake up in order to still have a life, because if you have to wake up at 4 a.m., you have to go to sleep at like 8 or 9 to get a full 8 hours of sleep. So the question is there a perfect morning routine so that you can wake up and get shit done? I wake up and I get shit done every single day. I probably get more done than most people get done in a month. I get done more in one day. And the reason for that is because I've optimized my life. I created the perfect morning routine for myself that I'm gonna share with you in this video, and you can adopt it in your own life. You can create your own version. If you find something that doesn't work for you, then you can change it around a bit. But I guarantee you, this will help you massively in your pursuit of success. Trust me, without a morning routine, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd scroll through Instagram for like an hour, and then I'd get out of bed and I'd be running around my apartment like a donkey without its head, trying to figure out what I even have to do to move forward in my life. And that was me before having a proper morning routine. That was me when I had $0 in my bank account. Actually, I had like negative money in my bank account. So the first thing that I do in the morning is I wake up between the hours of 7 to 8, and I never ever use an alarm clock. I hate alarm clocks. No one likes waking up to an alarm. You end up waking up in the middle of your sleep cycle, all tired, all groggy, and you're like, okay, what is even going on? I have no idea, what to do, how do I start my day? I just want to go back to bed, right? So none of that. I wake up between 7 and 8 a.m. and I allow my body to naturally wake up. I tried before to wake up at like 4:45 a.m., 5 a.m. I read a lot in the entrepreneur biographies that I read and all the success books that I read that 5 a.m. seems to be like the pattern between all the successful entrepreneurs. So I tried the whole 4 to 5 a.m. thing, and that just doesn't work for me. So that's why you want to find an optimal time for you to wake up. And how you do that is, kind of think about your life. Okay, do you go out on the weekends, right? Do you, do you like go to clubs, for example, on Friday night? Do you go out with your friends? I don't know, right? If some people like that, that's fine. If you can fit that into your schedule, you can still be a successful entrepreneur. But for example, if I want to go and I want to do anything, like watch a movie with my girlfriend at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., well, if I would wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., that means I can't go watch that movie because I have to be in bed by like 8 in order to get a full 8 hours of sleep. So that's why I decided that I go to bed between 10 and 11. I start my bedtime routine at 9 p.m. the night before. Very, very important. And that involves a whole list of supplements, a whole list of things, actions that I do in order to have an amazing sleep. I also track my sleep with the Oura ring, and it actually looks like this. It's a ring that you put on and it tracks your sleep, and it tracks 3 very, very important elements of your sleep. You might be asking, Dan, this is a morning routine video. Why are you talking about sleep? Because sleep, I consistently underestimated the importance of sleep in my life. And this whole entrepreneur, Gary Vee, let's hustle, let's grind, never sleep, 3 hours of sleep every night, let's go 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It doesn't work. If you want to be like a donkey without a head, you want to be running around your apartment, around your house, not knowing what to do with like bloodshot eyes, then you can go and follow Gary Vee's advice. But to be honest with you, it doesn't work for me, and I don't think it's going to work for you either. With the Oura ring, I track my sleep, and I make sure to get between 8 and 9 hours of sleep a night, and I always wake up naturally. So what that means is some mornings I'll wake up at like 7, some mornings I'll wake up at 8. Usually if I did a workout the night before or like the day before, and it was a really like stressful day or like I had a lot of work to do, then I would, I noticed that my body requires more rest, so I would wake up later, probably at like 8:30 a.m. But that's the latest I usually wake up. And that way I always wake up at the end of my sleep cycle, and I never interrupt my sleep cycle. That's literally the reason why you feel so tired waking up in the morning and why you just want to go back and hit, put your head back on that pillow. Now, the next thing that I do after waking up between 7 and 8 naturally, I go to the kitchen right away as soon as I wake up, and I drink about 500 milliliters of water. I'm not sure what that is in ounces. I'm Canadian, so I apologize, but it's half a liter of water. So it's like one tall glass like that. And then what that does is that allows my digestion system to like get moving, get started, and it's really, really good because it hydrates you after a long night of sleep. You don't have any liquid in you, and I'm pretty sure you lose a lot of liquid like when you sleep. So it's really, really great for kickstarting your day, telling your body, hey, it's time to wake up, it's time to get shit done. And after I do that, the next step of my routine is I drink Athletic Greens. And no, I'm not sponsored at all by Athletic Greens. I just think it's a great supplement, and it's basically like I don't know, it's a green powder, and it has a lot of great stuff in it, to be honest with you. Spirulina, apple juice powder. I mean, the ingredients list is huge, but basically, it really, really improves my well-being throughout the day, like how I feel, because the worst part of the day that I notice is when I'm sitting at my computer, I'm trying to work, especially after the coffee that I drink in the morning goes away, then I kind of feel like I kind of have this like mental fog, and so this really helps with that. Athletic Greens really helps with that. Highly recommend it. It is expensive, but it's really, really worth it. You don't have to get this brand, but I've tried other ones and this one tastes the best. So I just take a scoop of this, I mix it with another glass of water, so another full or half glass of water, and I just drink that, and right away my body like just kickstarts. Now the next step, and this is for all my coffee lovers out there, is incredibly, incredibly important. You know what I'm talking about. I start my day with coffee. So I go, and it's not bulletproof coffee or anything like that. I tried it. I'm not a huge fan of just, honestly, my stomach feels like just being like a vat of butter going down into my intestines, a vat of like grease. So if you know what bulletproof coffee is, it's like coffee plus butter. So it's like an MCT oil, so it's like loved by the entrepreneur community. But I don't like that. I'm honestly classic. I just love French press coffee. So you can see I have a French press somewhere back there, and I just brew French press coffee, and it's great. And so I sit down, and then I also eat breakfast. And for breakfast, it's always a high-fat, low-carb breakfast. So what that is I always have eggs, so 3 eggs, sometimes maybe 3 eggs and 1 egg white, and if I'm really hungry, 3 eggs and 2 egg whites, and I put in cheese and like ham or turkey in there, just so it's not like bland eggs, and then I usually have toast with butter with that as well. So that's pretty much my breakfast every single morning, glass of orange juice, and that way, instead of eating sugary cereal or oatmeal, that's incredibly high carb and low protein, which means that, you know, in like 1 hour, I'm sitting at my desk trying to do my work, and all I want to do is go back to sleep. That's just what like a carb insulin crash does. And so that's why I always love to do a high-fat, low-carb breakfast. And after that, right after breakfast, I walk to my desk, and then I start writing down my goals for the day. And I also have my whole day planned out the night before, and it was very, very hard. Trust me, it's incredibly hard to do that and to get into the habit of doing that. If you want me to make a whole other video on planning out like the exact tasks that you should do every single day, and planning out basically like your battle map for the next year, the next months, that way you can really, it's much easier to just plan your days out, then go ahead, comment down below, put in battle map down below in the comments, and I'm gonna go and make that video for you guys. I think it's really helpful. But yeah, so I go and I write down my goals, and I always have my goals like big goals and small goals, and I usually write down the big ones with like the first milestone that I have to get to it. Like for example, if my goal is to reach 8 figures, 1 million a month, which is my current goal in my online education business by next year, then I'm gonna go and I write down, I'm so happy now that ecomfreedom.com is making 1 million a month in revenue by June 2020. So that is my goal by next year, and that is what I write. And then under that, I put first milestone, and the first milestone would be 300K a month. You know, that way you break down milestones, and it's not like incredibly huge or far away, so your brain can kind of perceive the exact steps. So that is what I do, and I write down my goal as if I've already accomplished it in the present, and that way, you know, by saying I'm so happy now that I am successful, I am wealthy, I am my income is growing, you know, my students are successful, and thousands of testimonials are coming in to the Ecom Freedom course, for example, or I am so happy now that my e-commerce brand is generating $50,000 a month in profit. Let's say for one of my e-commerce brands, because I also own e-commerce brands, it just kind of pulls me towards the goal, and I take the actions that I need to do every single day that take me towards that goal. So that's very, very important. And right after writing down my goals, I visualize, and I'm a huge proponent of visualization. It's really helped me in my life. And how I visualize is I use Pinterest. And Pinterest is an amazing tool specifically for this. Very, very easy to go and create your own vision board. So I just go, I create a vision board, and I've already like created one a while ago with basically exactly how my life is gonna look at age 25. I'm currently 23. That way I'm kind of pulled on autopilot towards that vision. And so I look at that for about 5 minutes. I have some good music playing, and usually some classic rock or maybe some beats or whatever it is. And so that's how I visualize. And after that, I look at my plan tomorrow today, which is what I did before, the night before. And so that's my plan for the day. And before beginning to do the first task of the day, I go and I take a shower and I brush my teeth. And so I do all of that stuff. I like to do that after I write down my goals, after I eat breakfast. That way I have some food in me. I got the vitamins in from the athletic greens. Oh, and also, especially in the winter, I take one vitamin D. Most entrepreneurs, especially internet entrepreneurs, have a vitamin D deficiency. And so that's the vitamin that you get if you're outside in the sun. And right now where I live in Toronto, if I don't really have the interest of going and taking walks outside. For me, I'd rather just, kind of work and get what I need to do done. So that's just who I am. You might call me a robot or what, but yeah, so I just take vitamin D. And now about the gym, I lift weights 3 times a week. So one of those times usually in the morning. So right after breakfast, I would probably wait 30 minutes. I would write down my goals, visualize, and then I would go to the gym. And I also do cardio about 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes high intensity sprints, sometimes just 30 minutes on the bike. If I do that, then if I'm gonna wake up in the morning and instead of eating breakfast, I'm just gonna eat a banana, I'm gonna have the athletic greens and the coffee, and then I'm gonna start doing cardio and then breakfast after. So I prefer doing cardio in a fasted state. So there you go, a good morning routine literally controls everything in your life. How much money you make, how productive you are, the quality of your overall entire life, and basically how many things you can get done so that you have more time to actually just, chill out, enjoy your life, but also accomplish your highest goals and dreams. Because it's also important to have a balance, or else if you don't prioritize, you're just always working and you never have time for yourself. Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, every single successful billionaire entrepreneur, they all have a morning routine. Some wake up at 4. I know Jeff Bezos wakes up between 7 and 8, as well as Bill Gates. I think there's no hard set rules, but hopefully this video really opened up your mind and you can go copy my routine, and then over time I highly suggest you improve it and then you make it yours, because there is no set routine that fits everybody. So subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment, come back in a week, tell me how's the morning routine going and what changes have you made. I hope you enjoyed the channel, and if you are interested in online business, living your best life, increasing your income, and just overall living a life of freedom, financial freedom and abundance, this is the place for you. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.